Everyone is telling you to invest in Dubai South. But let me ask you something important. Do you actually understand what Dubai South is? Or you're just repeating the headlines? Because Dubai South is not a residential trend. It's not a cheap area, and it's definitely not a short-term play. Dubai South is a government-built economic city. And if you don't understand infrastructure, the jobs, and the passenger flow, then you don't understand the investment nor its cycle. So let's start from the beginning. What Dubai South actually is and why it exists in the first place. Dubai South is a 145 square kilometer master planned city developed by the government of Dubai. And here's the key thing that most people miss. Dubai South was not built around housing first. It was built around infrastructure, employment, and global trade. That's why it's not one project or one community. It's an entire ecosystem. In Dubai South, you'll have the airport district, aviation and logistics zone, businesses and the commercial areas, Expo City residential communities, and the lifestyle districts, all designed to work together. And once you understand that, one question naturally comes next. What's the engine that powers all of this? At the heart of Dubai South is Al Maktoum International Airport. It's not a normal airport expansion. It's a complete aviation shift for Dubai. The government is investing around 128 billion into this airport. Once completed, it's designed to handle up to 260 million passengers per year and 12 million tons of cargo annually. To give you scale, this airport alone covers about 70 square kilometers with 5 parallel runways and more than 400 aircraft gates operating at the same time. And this is where the story moves from infrastructure to impact, because airports don't just exist on their own. Let's compare this to Dubai International Airport. Dubai International Airport was designed to handle around 90 million passengers per year. And for years, it has been operating at this level, handling between 85 to 90 million passengers annually. Now compare that to Al Maktoum International Airport, 260 million passengers per year, almost 3 times the scale. But here's the most important part. Passengers don't just land and disappear. Around 20% of Dubai International Airport passengers actually enter the city, stay and spend. They stay in hotels, rent apartments, use transportation, they spend on food, retail and services. Some of them actually relocate and work in Dubai. And that brings us to the next layer of the story, the jobs. An airport at this scale doesn't just move planes, it creates tens of thousands of permanent jobs. We're talking about pilots, airline crews, engineers, maintenance team, air traffic control team, aviation IT, cargo and logistics staff, and a massive hospitality and retail workforce. These are not short-term roles. These are people who must live near where they work. And that's when real estate demand stops being speculative and starts becoming structural. But aviation is only one part of the story. Right next to the airport is the aviation district. This is where airlines, cargo operators, aviation service companies, training centers, and engineering firms are based. These are high-income and highly skilled professionals, and immediately connected to the logistic district, fully linked to air cargo routes, major highways, and Jebel Ali port. That's what turns Dubai South into a global trade and supply chain hub, not just a local business zone. Now, once you have aviation, logistics, and trade in place, the next question is obvious. Where do people gather, meet, and do business? That's where Expo City Dubai comes in. Historically, Dubai World Trade Center attracted around 2.7 million visitors every year throughout major exhibitions like GITEX, Gulf Food, and Arab Health. Since 2020, the area has already welcomed more than 24 million visitors and hosted over 50,000 companies and offered around 180,000 square meters of exhibition spaces. And what does that mean? Constant demand in everything: hotels, serviced apartments, residential rentals, retail and F&B. Again, real people, real demand, which naturally leads us to the residential side of the city. Dubai South is anchored by established residential hubs like Emaar South, Expo City, The Pulse, alongside demand projects like South Bay and the MAG. These communities have already proven rental and occupancy demand for this corridor. And what's truly storytelling is the shift towards ultra luxury in this zone. We're now seeing massive master plans under construction, such as Emaar Grand Polo, the Oasis by Emaar. These aren't just housing projects. These are luxury landmarks focused on high-end villas. And coming next is one of the most awaited launches in Emaar portfolio, the Heights Country Club and Wellness. This isn't just another residential development for villas. It's a massive 81 million square foot master plan community designed with a wellness first philosophy. We're looking at a state-of-the-art of wellness center at its core, surrounded by nearly 1.4 million square meters of open green spaces and over 38 kilometers of cycling tracks. When a developer like Emaar commits this level of capital in the south, they aren't building just projects, they're not building homes, they are redefining where the new prime Dubai will be. On top of these landmark projects, we have residential towers by multiple developers offering more accessible entry points starting around 1 million dirhams. Now let's reflect on the past growth curves, because this is where the data turns into proof. In the past 5 years alone, we've seen specific projects in the area deliver more than 150% in capital gains. Look at Emaar South townhouses. In 2019, you could pick a unit for roughly 1 million dirhams, and I'm not joking. Today, those same units are transacting over 2.5 million all the way up to 3 million. This isn't speculative hype. It's infrastructure-driven repricing. When you align capital with the government's commitment to the world's largest airport and the new metro extension, the market responds with mathematical certainty. And if you think this is only a local vision, zoom out. Dubai South is often called Dubai's trillion city, not as a marketing, but because the amount of investments that is done and committed exceeded the 1 trillion dirhams. Aviation, logistics, exhibition, infrastructure, residential development, all concentrated in one economic zone. And this confidence isn't only coming from Dubai. Recently, the British government through UK Export Finance committed $3.5 billion to support the expansion of Maktoum International Airport. That's not short-term money. That's long-term global trade positioning. When sovereign capital aligns with the master plan, speculations end and realization begins. Which brings us to the final takeaway. If you want the real investment cheat code, remember this. Follow the government money. Follow the infrastructure. Real estate and hospitality demand always follows. At this point, the question isn't if Dubai South will grow. The data has already settled that. The real question is, do you understand the play early, or do you want to buy after the market reprices? If you're looking at where the next decade of growth is concentrated, you have a look to the south. This isn't future speculation. This is an active multi-billion-dollar reality. And in this market, the greatest risk isn't being too early, it's being too late. Dubai's expansion is no longer a matter of opinion, it's a matter of geography. After more than a decade of studying these growth corridors, my advice remains the same. Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. If you're ready to stop following hype and the headlines and start following the data and analyzing it and the infrastructure and the profits blueprints, click the link down below to connect with me. And remember, in real estate, profits are made the day you buy, not the day you sell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.